Yeah, I mean, it's like when he tanks that long, it's like, even if he doesn't show the whole cards, like it's just like, okay, which overpair was it, man? Like there's not really
Yeah,
there's no
true, but
idea.
it's nice to see,
Yeah. It is nice.
especially on the replay where it doesn't show timings. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you're looking for it, you can't really tell. Did he just bet fold the missed nut flush draw, or like?
Yep. So we're gonna see, I guess, a standard start to a hand too. Any comment on the sizing on the turn? Like I've seen some smaller bets happening on these kind of turn cards, but is it like something that you guys might split, like having a block bet and this kind of more let's get it
Yeah.
in kind of bet?
I mean, especially when the gap is quite big from the 10 to the ace, and you have like jacks, queens, kings,
Mm-hmm.
which are like still fairly strong hands, especially when the ace is turned. Like we see that the flop half pot, he's folding out quite a few ace x hands. So if you wanna have a small continuing size as well for those hands, it's pretty legit. You could just continue like this, and it's not too bad either. Depends how much you want to try and juggle in game.
What kind of frequency barrel? Say you were block only on the turn. What kind of barrel frequency would you have?
I think if you're using only a small size, you end up betting like almost everything, and you'll have like a very, very specific checking range of like pocket nines and like pocket tens.
If that's
Uh,
true, let's not say it's a range bet, but let's say you could bet like 95 range for block. Why would you risk adopting another sizing, which probably forces you to have significantly more checks, or would you not make that trade-off? Talk a little bit about
well,
that.
well, there's always this thing of like, as you increase the complexity of what you're managing in your own game tree, you increase the complexity that they have to deal with. Like, for instance, if you only use a small size at a very high frequency, and that small size is uncapped because you have no bigger size, um, then like raising against it is like pretty dangerous, right? Because there's all these hands which might want, like ace king, ace queen, which might want to pile the money in, which would only be they'd be in the small size all the time. And so someone might be like, oh, when they use a small size, I don't want to raise them. But then if someone's never playing back at you, suddenly those hands are a bit wasted. Um, so it's kind of like, how much do you want to test your opponents to know the responses? But like also equally, you're opening up areas that you might fuck up yourself. So yeah, it's like it's more like, like there are benefits to it, but it's just how much can you manage without getting to a point where you're like overloading yourself and you're giving away more than you're getting from like complicating things.
I personally wouldn't play big bet on this turn ever.
Yeah, it's interesting. If you can
How deep
execute
are we?
something, that's a good question. A little bit deep, then I guess.
You can just like merge them into something in the middle. I'm like not even in like 100% sure
Yeah.
on theory.
What about like block or half pot? Like
Yeah, I mean, I
literally.
could see like just using a more B40 barrel, but it just feels like you have like pocket jacks, which kind of wants to barrel for somewhere from like B10 to B25. Um, and like you have enough of that sort of hand type um, that it might be worth building a range around.
I think if we sized up the flop, maybe we start doing a little more splitty. Like if we bet 75 on the flop.
Yeah, I could see like the ace might not actually, like we might
That makes
not
sense.
smash the ace as hard when we go half pot.
Right.
Like so then if we're not hitting the ace quite as hard because we've not forced them to fold some, then maybe it's a little bit more passive card. Yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely sure. I play a more polar size than this on the flop. Yeah. Also, when you're more polar, you end up having less of those like merged hands. You have like less hands like I don't know, like weak top pairs or under pairs in your range, and so then those polar ranges, even when they get devalued, they still have a tendency to keep the betting lead. Whereas like the merged ranges, like will have more hands which naturally want to check, or like yeah, and so then maybe that becomes more of a thing.
Complicated shit, guys. It's fucking 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Whoa.
this came out of nowhere. So anyway, he gets shipped on. He's gonna mark with ace queen. What's he thinking there?
Guess Queen of Spades blocks Bluff.
Whoa,
But
whoa.
we're so like, aren't we? Well, are we ahead of any of the linear shoves? I don't think so, right? Like,
But we chop with some.
do we chop, or is it Ace King plus? For like the pure linear ones, like
The ace queen doesn't jam?
I mean, it's an ace high board. The tendency to just slow play when there's no potential overcards is quite high, right?
I think this is a hand that Top Up didn't want to show people.
Yeah, I could see that. Bob has this big image going on of like he's like, you know, not folding, fighting for his life in 3-bet pots, and then this happens. Maybe we're just gonna make him a bunch of money because people are gonna do this to him tomorrow, and then he's gonna win like 5 stacks just having the nuts.
Yeah, I actually forgot if I'm supposed to ask him or not about this hand. I'm just tired. Like,
Top up, your secret's out.
hold on. Let's see if he agreed. No, he's all good. He's agreed.
Oh, good.
Good man. So he's happy that we're showing his whole cards right now.
I don't think he's happy.
What if it's a good fold though?
But it's a good
even
fold
worse.
you don't want people to know you made.
Even worse.
Yeah. If
Ah!
there we go, Davey, my boy.